Hello and welcome. I thought it would be nice for the 1 year since this happened to do a little mediumship memorial type reading to kind of give them the space to give some positivity, some love back to everyone who's given them love. I'm going to be using a couple different decks for a couple different questions for each of the four. I'm going to go through all the questions and then move on to the next, all the questions and then move on to the next person. This is not going to be looking into what happened or anything investigative. This is simply almost like there was a memorial for them, and this is like them giving one back, I guess, in a way, to like everyone who's been pouring their love into the four victims and following their story. So that is the intention here. As always, this is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion. I am going to be using a couple different decks. One of them from Amanda Ellis, which I highly recommend, is a religious deck. If you don't like that, just skip that part. Yeah, let's get started. We're going to start with Kaylee, then Maddie, then Zanna, then Ethan. Question 1 for Kaylee. What message would you like to give to the world? Pilgrimage. Onward steps, and it's card 22. The illustration on this card is based on the Pilgrim Steps at St. Michael's Mount in Cornwall, England. A medieval path, and one climbed by those long ago who sought spiritual nourishment and enlightenment. In the days of old, they would have been climbing to visit the church at the top. While there is nothing wrong in doing this, today's pilgrim is often aware that the true connection to Christ is via the heart, and no building is required. We still climb, though, ever upward, seeking connection and increased peace, presence, and awareness. Each step, some smooth and easy and others more slippery to navigate, reminds us that our spiritual path is made up of many events, people, places, thoughts, and energy. Some we relish encountering, and others we would prefer to avoid, but all are necessary to navigate if we want to reach our destination. The journey from birth back up to the tree of life toward our eventual return to pure consciousness is varied and takes unexpected turns. But as long as we keep our eye on the goal, we will never stay stuck and lethargic in the same place for long. We will see there is always a new vista as we move on to higher ground, while bearing witness to each place we stop at on the way, to reflect and take in the view. You are encouraged to look back at how far you have already come, and how much hard work, dedication, and commitment brought you to the steps in the first place. You signed up for this life and came here to keep learning, growing, and striving to go higher. There is, however, no rush to get to the summit. Rather, it is all about the journey itself. Savoring each moment and taking in the day and night, the cycles of nature, and your growing development. Remembering what you once were and who and what you know now. Acknowledging all achievements and not comparing progress to others, but honoring your unique journey. Pulling this card may also indicate that you are thinking of taking a pilgrimage. This may be formal to a known destination or an informal, unmapped one. Pilgrimage is about going within, testing your own resolve and exploring different ways of looking at the world. It may arise out of curiosity or necessity. You may feel burned out, needing time away from normal settings to realign and refresh body, mind, and soul. The pool of a simpler life, a more stripped back routine, may also be attractive, with less time distracted by technology and endless things to do. The calling may also be connected to letting go of some material possessions, identities, or an old life. Often, pilgrimage beckons when we are on the apex of a new life. We are tired and wish to rebirth ourselves and find out about what drives us and what we could be. Taking time today to just stop and pause will serve you well. To notice and appreciate where you are at, knowing that in this moment you are learning something important. You may also like to sketch, draw, or think about where you would like to go, to a far-off land or somewhere near today. A silent retreat, a walk in the valley or woods, anything is possible, as well as an inner pilgrimage via meditation, breathwork, or shamanic journeying. Enjoy the next steps and experiences as you learn more about who you really are. Kaylee, what do you think is a very important aspect of healing that humans should not disregard or ignore? Everything is a reflection. Hold up the energetic mirror. What do you need in your life that you're currently not getting? (22) 11. One, one, two, two. Oftentimes, events, trauma, and unhealed pain from our past will get stored in our body's memory. You may not recall the event on a conscious level, but your subconscious always remembers. This is why we get triggered. You may be experiencing a strong emotional reaction of fear, shock, anger, or worry. It could be because you are remembering a past event. Trauma protects itself from pain by creating a false identity inspired by your ego around the experience. If you were hurt in your past, your ego will create a perception to help protect you from ever having to feel that pain again. For example, if you were told to be quiet and that you were too much as a child, you may feel as if you need to hold back or feel ashamed to speak up. Your ego created a belief that it's not safe to be yourself, and that in order to fit in, you must avoid speaking up. This creates discord and dishonesty within yourself. You may be experiencing part of a past trauma that has been buried. Your entire life is filtered through your experiences, perceptions, and thoughts. And when you feel triggered, it is often the result of unhealed wounds that still live within you. When you feel angst, reconnect with what matters most to you. What is true about life for you, and what illusions can you see past? When others do things that cause a reaction, this is a mirror reflecting what is unhealed and needs to be viewed from within. If it didn't need our attention, we would not feel triggered. Look at what is triggering you and causing you distress. Hold up the energetic mirror and ask yourself, how is this showing me what I need to heal within myself? If a loved one isn't supporting you right now, ask, how can I support myself? Your external world is a reflection of your internal state, mirroring the deepest truths of your soul. Use this time to recognize all areas and relationships that feel strained. Heal your past by connecting to it in the present. You have a divine assignment not to take things personally. Look at who is triggering you and what it is bringing up for you. When you feel your feelings, you release them. And as you do, you connect to the deeper message they can bring. Using the energetic mirror will help you reconnect with your true self, the pure light and love within. Ask yourself, what do I need in my life that I am not currently getting, and how can I give that to myself? Kaylee, what is something that you would like everyone who follows your story to know? Something about who you are at your core that you are proud of? Originality, overcoming diversity, technology, so maybe the way that she represents herself on social media, maybe the way that she's able to kind of figure things out. Experimental, so taking a situation and looking at it from every different angle and perspective. And freedom, freedom to be herself. Reputation, career, fame, and responsibilities. She's proud of the way that her light shone enough that those who follow her story can see the light of who she is on the inside, shining through any darkness that this situation brought onto their lives. Kaylee, how would you describe the role that Maddie played in your life? Your friendship, the Chariot, and Temperance, followed by 9 of Swords in reverse, followed by 6 of Cups, followed by Ace of Cups. She was her angel. She was her never-ending support. She was her safe place to express her feelings, emotions, worries, doubts. She helped to calm her mind. She held space for her. She made her believe in herself and her dreams and her goals on a higher level. And it always was that way for a very long time. This is like, we started out young and matured through helping hold space for one another to be our authentic, true selves. And again, this is childhood, so it always was that way. They were, I think if I had to put a literal title on it, my angel safe space. Kaylee, what messages would you give to anyone who's struggling with the grief and heaviness of today's date? Grief is work. Avoiding grief is even more work. Today, I will not run from the pain. I will allow the healing powers of grief to soften my feelings and mend my broken heart. So just as she was saying, Maddie held space for her to feel. Hold space for yourself to feel as well. As you experience the sadness of the loss, find gratitude for the love you shared and the experiences you had. I remember you today with love and gratitude. So celebrate their lives today is kind of the direction here. Yes, it's sad and heavy and overwhelming, but focus on the light that they're trying to share. One more. Loss can also be a period of growth. Today, be open to awareness of new growth and changes. Say yes to something that comes up in the next week. So allow yourself to feel, and then allow yourself to transmute that pain by using it as energy to do something in their honor within the next week or so. Even if it's just a small act of kindness, can raise the vibration by spreading that kindness in their name. Kaylee, which passage would you like to share with us today? Commitment. A great challenge has arrived at my door, and luckily it is open. In this new path, I see the mirror of freedom, the freedom to traverse myself until the end. My inner purpose unfolds before me now, and in every now. Beauty displays in light, showing me all I could not see before. I grow slowly and softly. I contemplate the future in my present, and I embrace this transition by observing the passages of life and the cycles that change. I sing to life. I open it and I share it. I make a ritual. I gift initiation symbols to my new life. Every corner I grace with beauty, and I celebrate all that I have brought to it. When I honor each stage with love, life smiles back at me. And last, I'm going to do a 10-song channeled playlist. Bigger Than by Justin Jesso. I don't want to end up looking back on my birthdays like they're random Thursdays. No, I don't want to end up like that. I want a life that's bigger than all of the houses I want to buy for my friends. A life that's bigger than every person who ever told me I can't. I'll look back and want to be remembered for what I did, not what I had. A life that's bigger than the fears I have. I want to say the right words every time that I speak, have everyone listen. I want to be my own boss so I don't feel so lost and be more ambitious. I want to learn how to love whoever I want like it's nobody's business. I want to end up like that. Did I misunderstand what I channeled and you just want one song for each of you? Meditation brings answers. I sat here and thought about it for a minute and I was like, wait, it seems like they just want one song each, so it's like a... Okay. And lastly, we're going to do 4 mediumship messages from Kaylee. Don't be afraid. The right things will eventually come. We will be together again. Anyone who's watching who knows her personally, she's going to be waiting for you on the other side. Spirit orbs. She's been in my videos saying hi. Everything happens for a reason. Trust the divine plan. Maddie, what message would you like to give to the world? Relieving suffering, move beyond pain. You are asked to examine what you have been carrying, maybe alone, that has become so heavy it weighs you down, like the cross on Jesus' back. It is causing pressure, stress, and discomfort, creating no peace of mind or ability to fully cope. You may have considerable baggage and unhealed trauma or pent-up rage and sadness. It may have been a long road you have walked, fraught with effort, hard work, and pain, or a shorter experience. But either way, your energy levels may be low, depleted, and needing a period of rest. Considerable responsibilities and duties, whether from a job, your family, or just modern day life, may be factors. Health may also be highlighted, whether physical, mental, or spiritual. A period of struggle you have gone through can certainly be indicated via this card. This cross has long been associated with Jesus' greatest struggle, but also his greatest triumph. You are reminded that you too will triumph over any obstacle you face, and that whatever has occurred is witnessed by spirit. The times you were isolated, alone, afraid, and in pain have all been part of your journey, but will not be the end of you. Far from it. You will grow from what you have endured or are going through. Any deeply etched line upon the brow, any gray hair, shows the markings of one who has survived what would have vanquished lesser beings. You are both a fighter and a winner, an indomitable soul. Nothing is lost, just as nothing was lost for Jesus upon the cross. For he did not die, but was rebirthed anew. The suffering was the doorway to something far greater. And every tear and anguished cry forged deeper wisdom, understanding of the human spirit, and faith in a greater power. Into your hands I commend my spirit, were not the words of a beaten man or victim, but one who surrendered, knowing that he would always be looked after, even in his hour of greatest need. He never lost his faith, and neither shall you. You will never be abandoned, and truly at our time of greatest need is when we often feel closest to God's presence. You are assured that you will always be held, and God has a plan for you that may not be visible or obvious, but is very real and present and unfolding now. You are asked to gently begin the process of releasing the old, strained shroud you wear. It bears the markings of what you were, not who you will become. A new gown awaits that is golden and illuminated with light. The shroud discarded on the cross reminds us that, like Jesus, we are eternal beings, given new keys to further doorways of existence and soul growth. The poppies of peace mixed with the poppies of suffering, old and new energies symbolizing that we never forget what we have lived through, but we can begin to make peace with it. Realizing our life is the sum of many parts, light and shade, happy and tragic times. Your story does not end here. It moves on, and all that you have learned will be invaluable wisdom to share. Your increased empathy and understanding will help many who have not walked in your shoes and fail to understand. Taking your hand now, Jesus walks with you away from the cross to pastures new, filled with buttercup flowers and birds, where you are invited to give thanks to all that have shaped you into the strong and valuable member of planet Earth, who is precious and loved, and always was. Maddie, what do you think is a very important focus of healing that is important for humans to not disregard or ignore? Nothing real can be threatened. How can you actively participate in creating heaven on earth? Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the presence of the Creator. This passage from A Course in Miracles is a divine reminder that the most important things in life are not the things we have been taught to focus on. When you go inward into your heart, you will see the areas of your life that feel inauthentic. At times, life can feel out of control and overwhelming. But when you remind yourself of where your true power lies, connected to source energy and divine love, all illusions fall away. The love within you can pull you into a more peaceful state. When you look outside of yourself, you can easily fall into worry and feel hopeless. Yet the outside world is only a reflection of your internal state. Look at your inner world and care for it. Make choices that are aligned with your truth, that of love. See the world within you as a beautiful place where all possibilities can manifest. It always starts with you. You are the creator of your experience. Fear and doubt will try to threaten, but love cannot be threatened. When you are aligned with your truth, that of love, nothing can harm you. This card is an invitation to see the world with fresh eyes, the real world of love, compassion, joy, and participate in the activation of heaven on earth. The world in which we live is, in part, an illusion. It is not real in the sense of the things outside of us and to which we give such importance. The material things, the likes, the follows, the outward forms of success, are not representative of our true worth. These are fictions created to pull you away from the image of love within you. Everything outside of you is a manipulated reality, but the real world is the one in your heart. The intangibles of hope, peace, joy, and love, these are your true power. Their truth can never be taken from you. They are yours because they are part of you. You can choose to allow these blessings to be part of your everyday life, or you can choose to stay in worry, fear, and discomfort. The choice is always yours. You are being called to activate your inner light by seeing yourself as a child of the divine. This world we live in is created for you to experience more of who you are and play in the wonder of it all. With this sense of acceptance, you will feel lighter, freer, and more purposeful. Ask yourself, how can I actively participate in creating heaven on earth? Maddie, if you could talk about one thing that is at the core of who you are, that you are proud of yourself for, what would it be? Awakening, illuminating truths, beginnings arise, solar eclipse. She's proud of her light and the way that even when the darkness was trying to cover it, you can still see that light and it's still very bright. Empathetic, intuitive, sensitive, water. Her flow and the way that she was able to pour into others and hold space for others. Maddie, if you had to describe Kaylee's role in your life in terms of a title, what title would you give? The same card came out. Temperance, Strength, Ace of Wands, Two of Pentacles, Four of Cups in the reverse. She too was my angel. She She didn't let me stay in a low state for too long. She always made me laugh. She always picked me up. If she had to be overly goofy to get me out of a bad mood, she wasn't afraid to embarrass herself to make me smile. She helped me always prioritize my strength. She never let me face away from what I was capable of. And she pushed me towards each fresh new start every time I needed an extra boost or an extra push. She was my angel of encouragement. She was my shoulder to lean on, and the place where I never had to fear being my true self, no matter how good or bad I may have felt that day. Maddie, what messages would you give to anyone feeling the heaviness of today in grief? Your grief is real because the love was real. Do not doubt your grief. Do not let it be minimized. The intensity of the grief is there because of the intensity of the love. So anyone who's very invested in this case, or anyone who knows them personally, you're not too much. You're not overreacting, especially on a day like today. Allow yourself to hold the space for yourself, like Kaylee and Maddie did for one another. Allow yourself to give yourself the space to feel. The intensity of what you're feeling is because that's how much it's affecting you. And it's okay to feel all of that. Regrets keep us stuck in the past and make us doubt our future. Accept what has happened and release yourself from any blame. Anger is part of healing grief, but don't let anger grow in you. Find healthy ways to release it. Scream in the car, exercise, hit a pillow, or write a letter to your anger. So again, hold that space for yourself, but also give yourself the tools to transmute it and not just sit in it too long. Let yourself feel it, and then do what needs to be done to transmute it. Maddie, what message would you like to share with us today? I am. In this holographic reality, we function like mirrors. I mirror you and you mirror me. I look into my mirror. I look at you. I look at myself. I can clearly see myself when I observe you. The outside acts as a mirror for my mind, where I see different qualities of my own essence, of my most primitive self reflected. I grew up in a fragmented society that made me believe in not being enough, not being valuable, not being capable. I often believed that I had a broken wing. This aspect of society is also my mirror, a very useful one, which can encourage me to take care of myself in harmful situations. It makes me appreciate life and see it from another perspective. It gives me an opportunity to educate and expand my version of reality. I now see that not being is an illusion, is a veil, based on a mistaken belief system and a projection of inherited fears. I pause and look at you again. I look at myself again. Seeing a spectrum of light and shadow, I assimilate the information received and I weigh it up. When I look at myself through harsh, closed, or authoritative mirrors, I have the opportunity to review my own violence, to set limits, to express myself, and to let go as necessary. I always deserve love. When I connect with sweeter, more loving, and compassionate mirrors, I am filled with peace, connection to life, and connection to my purpose. Because our humanity is in essence pure love, and that is one of my most beautiful reflections. I am. The act of observing says more about the observer than about what is being observed. I rest in silence. Silence reveals the truth. From the silence, the answers spring. I am able to look beyond the story I have told myself and observe my current situation clearly. Today, I grow and heal with love. Maddie's channeled song. One Sweet Day by Mariah Carey and Boys to Men. Feeling, knowing you hear me, it keeps me alive. And I know you're shining down on me from heaven. She just talked about a mirror. She's shining down from heaven. I'll wait patiently to see you in heaven. Lord, I know when I lay me down to sleep, you will always listen as I pray. One sweet day, patiently to see you in heaven. Sorry I never told you all I wanted to say. And mediumship messages from Maddie. I'm in my own personal piece of paradise. When feathers appear, angels are near, you are protected. So this goes with the song that she channeled, and then the song goes with the last card. So the feathers, she's confirming that she's at peace and happy in heaven. I'm reunited with loving pets. And then that's the connection to Kaylee. So I'm happy in heaven and I'm with Kaylee. Zanna, what message would you like to give to the world? New vintage, be open-minded. To truly drink from the cup of life is to understand that to stay open to new ideas, new perspectives, and other ways of being keeps you young in body, mind, and soul. Right now, it is important to stay inquisitive, curious, and eager to learn, and to greet each new day afresh, with no expectations of how it will be, but rather what it could be. Jesus used the parable of new wine needing to be put into skins, bottles, since older skins would fail to hold the liquid. You know what I just realized? This whole time we've been saying how Zanna's an older soul. There she is. This liquid, though, is our ever-evolving consciousness and spirit. We are warned to not become stuck, stringent, or rigid in what we think possible, or how we expect the world to be. Being inflexible to new ideas is a characteristic that can affect young and old alike. Here we see in this card the wine cellar, who, although an elder, is alive with youth and vigor. Her eyes are full of wisdom, experience, and desire to find out more. You are reminded to never lose your love for life, your ability to serve, and your desire to see beyond what you already know. A supple mind and open heart are the main requirements, and a willingness to engage in life, not hide away, stagnant, or simply stay too close to your comfort zone. So often we stay with what is safe and predictable, rather than giving ourselves the opportunity to meet new people, engage in different activities, and broaden our interests. This may be linked to any area of life, career, and relationships, but also our mindset and beliefs. Your soul came here to enjoy the rich variety of experiences that can be found only on Earth. To limit yourself to just one tree from which to pick fruit in God's garden deprives you of so much. This card also suggests that there are elders in your family or circle with the answers that you seek. From their life experience, particular journey, and skill set, they have guidance to offer you. They may be a parent, grandparent, neighbor, friend, or teacher. They're likely still alive, but you can also draw on ancestors, guides, and sacred knowledge passed down from generation to generation, since everything is new to ears that have never heard it before. You are also held by the ancient ones as you peel back layers of previous understanding to find deeper truths, new teachings, and fresh ways of understanding your life. Leave no stone unturned as you enjoy browsing libraries of new information, and be interested in the questions that are provoked and the areas that are challenged. You are ready for the next level of teaching, and much of this comes from walking the path. Christ consciousness living will take you to places and people that will test you to see whether you can stay in your heart. See your life as a canvas on which there are already brushstrokes, but onto which new colors and patterns wish to arrive. Some will be mysterious and complex, and some simple and straightforward, but all make up the greater picture of your life. Right now, be light-footed, flow and see where life takes you and what awaits around the next corner. Endeavor to enjoy being life's eternal student, drinking from its cup and freely knowing more will come. To look back at a life well lived is the road to travel. So today, explore all you can, for tomorrow another surprise will await. Zanna, what is one aspect of healing that you feel humans should not disregard or ignore? You can radically change your results by shifting your beliefs. What belief is limiting you? Are you looking for a quantum leap in your life? Radical advancement is possible when we shift into a higher vibration and tune into a new frequency. We do this by releasing old beliefs that no longer serve us. You may have a belief, pattern, or habit that is no longer serving you. It may be outdated and keeping you stuck. Our habits and beliefs help us during certain periods, but as we grow, so do our needs. We must clear away the old to make way for the new. You are at a powerful crossroads in your life. You have the opportunity to let go of everything holding you back. Even if you are not aware of all the things blocking you, you can set the intention to release them so you can step into your future with more ease. You will radically change your life when you shift your limiting beliefs. Look at your experience and life situations and take inventory. Which people, places, beliefs, habits, and situations are supporting you and your growth, and which ones are limiting? Be willing to let go and trust that the universe will support you. Be gentle and kind to yourself. Through the release of the old, you welcome in the new. Self-compassion will lead you forward. Create a vision for yourself by imagining your ideal life and who you want to be. Feel what it feels like to be released from your old limitations. You can set yourself free. Ask yourself, what belief is limiting me? Zanna, what would you like to highlight, something about your core of who you are that you are very proud of to those who follow your story? Soul's lessons, purpose, path, and integrity. She never veered off of the path of integrity and always trying to do the right thing. North, always looking up. Duality, curious, social. This makes me think her and Ethan, because Gemini, it's like two heads of the same coin. Always be curious to look at what you can learn from other people. She never looked at anyone as better than or less than, but always, what can I learn from this person? Zanna, how would you describe Ethan's title or role in your life? Ace of Swords, 10 of Wands in the reverse. Ace of Cups. Five of Cups in the reverse. Ooh. Nine of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. The truth is that there was a lot of deeply rooted trauma that Ethan helped Zanna to put down, because he was the one that got closest enough for her to feel comfortable stepping into the space that he held for her. She was able to release a lot of pain that she feels otherwise would have took lifetimes or generations. Ethan sped it up, and because he loved her like he did and held the space for her like he did, it's like she sped up generations of healing into one lifetime. He treated her like a princess. She was his princess. The title is a damsel in distress that didn't want to be saved, but allowed someone to come in and care for her because of the heart that he showed her he had. Zanna, what messages would you give to anyone feeling the heaviness and grief, especially today? The grief is there to heal the pain. We don't run from grief. We actually run from the pain of loss. Grief has been given to us to heal the pain. That is something that an old soul would definitely say. And something that Ethan helped her to see. I'm going to read it again. The grief is there to heal the pain. We don't run from grief. We actually run from the pain of loss. Grief has been given to us to heal the pain. Forgive those who have hurt you. In order to heal, today I will remember they were wounded by another. Another thing an old soul would say, forgive those. You can't think your way out of grief. Be present for it. You can handle it. You can't think your way out of grief. Be present for it. You can handle it. Don't intellectualize your feelings. Feel them. Zanna, what message would you like to share with us today? Morning dew. That looks like Ethan and her. The path to my own star is made of reinventions. It is an open path which constantly surpasses the created ideas about who I am. The changing nature of life calls me to look at existence with new eyes, paying attention to my inner movements and allowing the necessary space for every emotion. I create space for my light to shine, expand and illuminate my surroundings. I create space for my shadow to dwell, to embrace the uncomfortable and integrate my wounds with genuine love. As natural as the transition from day to night, I integrate the darkness into me. I loosen debilitating defense mechanisms that dismiss my gifts or hide my emotional shortcomings and deny my pain. Little by little, I break this programming that makes me despise my body or disregard my calling by focusing my energy only on others. I connect today with my inner rhythm, flexible, changing, and wise. Resilience. It is life running through my body every time I feel the healing of my scars. It is life pulsing in me when gratitude expands in my chest. It is life communicating in every tear, in every laugh. It is the sacred life in each new chapter. My resilience is my refuge. There I tell myself the truth and leave space for all that I am. What does our life compare to? To the dewdrop that jumps from the beak of a water bird and on which the moon is reflected. Zanna's song, she wants me to use a different playlist. Oh, that's why. Your Song by Elton John. It's for Ethan. It's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can easily hide. I don't have much money, but boy, if I did, I'd buy a big house where we both could live. If I was a sculptor, but then again, no, or a man who makes potions in a traveling show. I know it's not much, but it's the best I can do. My gift is my song, and this one's for you. And you can tell everybody this is your song. It may be quite simple, but now that it's done, I hope you don't mind that I put down in the words how wonderful life is while you're in the world. I sat on the roof and kicked off the moss. Well, a few of the verses, well, they've got me quite cross. But the sun's been quite kind while I wrote this song. It's for people like you that keep it turned on. So excuse me for forgetting, but these things I do. You see, I've forgotten if they're green or they're blue. Anyway, the thing is, what I really mean, yours are the sweetest eyes I've ever seen. Okay. Whew. Mediumship messages from Zanna. I know you feel so much hurt and pain, but I promise it's going to get better. Ethan's smile. His eyes and his smile, she just pointed out. Now I have no pain. I always kiss you goodnight. I always give you a kiss goodnight. She's confirming she's with Ethan. Like big. I said she's confirming she's with Ethan, like big time. The next card, I love you with all my soul's being. Whew. Okay. Ethan, what message would you like to give to the world? Forgiveness sets you free. Oh, and it's number 13. One of the central teachings of Jesus was forgiveness, as he knew it held within it the most powerful catalyst for positive change, freeing you and bringing in new possibilities and hope. Pulling this card may imply there is someone or something you need to forgive. Their deeds that hurt you may have been small or enormous, short or long term, and the damage to your physical, mental, and emotional health may be considerable. However, the act of forgiveness is a process that can start today via a gesture, a thought, or simply a willingness to let go of the past. Forgiving is a present tense action. It does not negate what may have happened previously or pretend it didn't occur. It simply marks a line in the sand that from now on you will give less attention to what they did wrong and more to moving beyond it. Whatever has occurred does not define you. It is one part of a much larger whole that makes up your multifaceted soul. Forgiveness is card number 13 in this deck, and a nod to mastery, since it isn't easy or the first thing we think of doing when we are hurt. It can take time. However, as a part of the path of healing, it is vital. Since not to do so hardens our heart, it keeps up our defenses and line of attack, and can keep us in victimhood energy rather than the survivor who thrives. The 13th number always represents rebirth and what lies beyond the ashes of the old. Forgiveness frees you. So today, think about where you still feel tied to a past transgression, act of betrayal, violation, or unkind word or deed. It may be that you seek to understand another's motives, to see things from different perspectives, or to learn something, or it might be unfathomable. But forgiveness is the same remedy that will help you now. We are not in control of how another behaves or acts, but we are able to control our own response to it. Over time, forgiveness will always come knocking, looking for the right moment to build bridges or simply allow you to let go with love. He's confirming that how his family is handling this tragedy is through his divine support and guidance. This card shows former enemies across the barricades of embracing as they recognize that by fighting each other, they are fighting their fellow brother. It shows that nothing is too big to be forgiven, and that much inner work will have preceded the embrace. Putting down arms is a gift, not just to those involved, but every generation that follows. We are shown how Jesus acted when he forgave. A pertinent teaching was, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." Which seems especially relevant for these changing days where many are still blind to their own higher consciousness. When we know better and have Christ's footsteps to follow, we are encouraged to be the one that holds the olive branch of healing out to another, knowing that we will be surrounded by spiritual help, light, and protection in doing so. The embrace of two souls who were lost to each other is greeted by a chorus of joy in heavenly realms, just as the cries that came before it are watched over and held too. Forgiveness can also be an act that we need to gift ourselves when we have been our own worst critic, driven ourselves too hard, abused ourselves, or not looked after our own needs. However, forgiveness figures for you right now. Tread softly with love and the deep wisdom within, and take a step towards it now. Ethan, what is a focus of healing that should not be ignored or disregarded? Everyone is on their own journey. How can you focus more on your own path? 31, 13 and 31. Forgiveness sets you free to focus on your own path. When we dive deeper into a personal growth journey, we awaken to more of our natural essence. We start to see the path forward with more clarity, and this can invigorate us. This card is a reminder that every person is on their own journey, and your path is for you. We all have the same destination, to arrive at the truth of love that we are, but the ways we reach this awareness differ. Know that you have different soul lessons from those around you. You can still honor your own growth while allowing others to be where they are. This calls for radical, compassionate acceptance. So often we want those around us to be where we are or do what we want, but this is not the law of life. Let people be in their own time and space and focus on your own journey, and you will empower others with your presence. There is nothing to change or fix about anyone. You don't need to make their lives better or try to save anyone. Only they can do that for themselves. Instead of giving so much attention to others, focus on your own path. You are on a very different path, and this requires faith and trust in yourself. This is an opportunity to look at where you have been giving power to others by trying to control how and who they are. Return to your power by staying on your own aligned path. There is great momentum here. Trust yourself and your divine plan. The dolphin spirit animal represents the harmony and balance. Dolphins are intelligent and in tune with their natural instincts. Focus your energy on realigning to your center and focusing on your own path with more joy. The dolphin is playful and doesn't like to take life too seriously. A further reminder to approach your life with more humor and joy. Ask yourself, how can I focus more on my own path? Ethan, if you could highlight one thing about who you are at your core that you are proud of, what would you like to focus on? 3D, physical life's journey and karma. Creating good karma for himself by acts of kindness, by being a good person in the 3D, and how his family is replicating that high vibrational energy with what they're doing with Ethan's smile. He's happy to leave a positive, lasting legacy on Earth. Abundance, stability, finances, fertility, giving, help. He's proud that he was able to translate to his family a way to heal and spread positivity that would help him leave that lasting positive legacy on Earth. This is Earth as well, and this is 3D. He's like, I said what I said. I'm happy to leave something positive from such a negative situation. Ethan, how would you describe Zanna's title in your life? 7 of Pentacles, 6 of Wands. I planted the seed and got the victory. She's his prize. She was his prize. 4 of Pentacles reversed. 4 of Pentacles reversed, the Hanged Man, Queen of Cups. She held space for me so that I didn't have to hold on to things that were difficult to talk about or express. She allowed me to see the purpose in certain hard situations and how it was helping me to see things from a higher perspective. She was my queen, my prize. She was what the kid version of him dreamed of having in a partner, but way more. The title, my emotional confidant, and the one who helped me face my shadows so that I could heal and evolve. Ethan, what messages would you like to give anyone who is feeling the grief and heaviness of today? A broken heart is also an open heart. Your vulnerability is also your strength. Do not run from your openness. That's kind of what he was just saying, that Zanna kind of helped to teach him, and now he's sharing that message with you. Life doesn't last forever, but love never dies. Love lives in grief. In grief, we must release the role of victim. We will survive and live our life fully to honor our loved one. Ethan's smile. He's proud of the way that his family is handling this. Ethan, what message would you like to share with us today? Flow. Oh, I opened right up to it. I walk on this earthly plane through the duality of its light and darkness. My feet touch the earth. My hands grip the roots. I immerse myself in the ocean. I look into the eyes of wild creatures. I listen to the song of birds. I smell the aromas and wild flowers, and I contemplate children, parents, and grandparents. Everything and every experience that is integrated in this ordinary reality actually morphs into an extraordinary spiritual journey. Each moment lived with consciousness clearly shows me that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I'm going to read that again. Each moment lived with consciousness clearly shows me that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. By observing the relationship I have with myself, with you, with nature, with what I do or do not consume, with all my life's experiences, I receive new tools and teachings that show me my true self, that reveal the path I am walking on and where it is that I am heading. When I nurture my heart with affection and care, it is reflected in my daily actions. From this space of nurture, encouragement, and attention, I gather my essential knowledge of life, knowledge that is made of pure love. Thus, naturally, the channel through which I share my learning with the world widens. Transmitting the knowledge I have enriches me. Life belongs to me as I surrender to it. Every conscious present moment is that, a present, a gift. My life has been full of those little moments. Looking at the path I have traveled, I can see the guiding thread, a natural flow where my most beautiful treasures stand out. With generosity, I share my gifts and sow new seeds of light in the earth. Literally. The quote at the bottom, it always seems impossible until it's done. Channeled song from Ethan. This is the song we left on with Zanna, so I'm just gonna push it a bunch of times and see what happens. Don't Blink by Kenny Chesney. I turned on the evening news, saw an old man being interviewed, turning 102 today. 1122. Asked him, what's the secret to life? He looked up from his old pipe, laughed and said, all I can say is, don't blink. Just like that, you're 6 years old and you take a nap, and you wake up and you're 25, and your high school sweetheart becomes your wife. Don't blink, you just might miss. Your baby's growing old like mine did, turning into moms and dads. Next thing you know, your better half of 50 years is there in bed, and you're praying God takes you instead. Trust me, friend, 100 years goes faster than you think, so don't blink. I was glued to my TV when it looked like he just looked at me and said, better start putting first things first. Because when your hourglass runs out of sand, you can't flip it over and start again. Take every breath God gives you for what it's worth. So I've been trying to slow it down. I've been trying to take it in this here today, gone tomorrow world we're living in. So don't blink. Life goes faster than you think. So don't blink. Mediumship messages from Ethan. Pay attention to synchronicities. We had 13, 31, and a bunch of 2s, and the song said turned 102. We're paying attention, Ethan, don't worry. Ladybugs, I'm sending you luck and good fortune. I think this is more directed towards his family, like healing, and also something taking a turn that it needs to in the case. I'm not dead. I'm alive in everything, constantly flowing energy. I just was thinking, I pulled 4 for Zanna, didn't I? So should I pull 4 for Ethan? The earth is our school. And in closing, a postcard from the 4 of them together to all of you. Dear you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you. You're not heard, or even that you don't count. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion. And although your feelings tell you that abandonment is real, well, we who love you know better. You are never alone, and even when rejection happens, you are ultimately being protected, so better things can replace what wouldn't have worked out in the first place. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for your ultimate success. Life loves you, we love you, and you are a unique spark of the divine and always connected to the light and to source. You are always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Thank you to everyone for coming to this memorial and holding space for them to give some positivity today. Have a great day. I just finished the recording, like the final recording part of this. 1122.